Hello, Cancers, and welcome to your Spring Love Oracle reading. This is, a reading for now until, early June. And we are just coming in off of the full moon. We're actually in that energy still right now. It was just last night, and full moon energy goes from 3 days before the full moon to 3 days after. So we're still working in that energy. And just before I start reading, everything may not resonate with you. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. This is a collective reading and it's not a personal reading, so things are going to channel through me for different people who watch my YouTube channel. So having said that, we're going to get started. I have the Moonology deck, and let's see, I'll just show you the cover here. So this is what the cover of it looks like. So this is the Moonology deck, and I'm actually not pulling cards from that. I pulled a card from that before starting this reading, and it is the full moon in Scorpio card. We just, like I said, we had a full moon, and it's the full moon in Scorpio. It's the first of two super moons that we're having this year, so the energies are really strong, and it could go, one of two ways. So this card here says it's time to release negativity, and Scorpio is known for being associated with the death card in tarot, which is all about releasing and just, situations or things being ended with finality, okay? And it doesn't necessarily just mean, somebody passing on. So having said that, right now is a great time to release anything that's no longer serving you, and any people, connections, or things that could be getting in the way of you progressing forward, even as far as love situations go, because sometimes we get ourselves into a situation and it blocks us. We don't leave the situation in our minds. Maybe we want to, or, in our minds, we haven't gotten over a certain situation. Or we just have things in general to work on in our lives that we need to, release instead of putting energy into them, so that we can move forward into a more positive place in our lives. And on the other side of this card, Scorpios have a very high sexual energy. So, if you're not going through the need for a release of something, you could be needing a release of some other sort, so you could be dealing with some, really powerful sexual energy, or, you could be feeling the urge to do some magic, or just feeling like, magic and manifestation is happening for you really well right now. And so it's time to embrace that and do much more of it. So yeah, that's the full moon in Scorpio right now. I think it's really important for us to realize that the magic and the shadow work and the working on ourselves and, being peaceful and loving and light beings comes from a place of being able to do the shadow work as well. And, ultimately, it aligns you with your person. Whether you're in a relationship or you're single and you're looking for a relationship, your person, you can say that you're ready, but your person's not really going to show up to you until you are really internally, energetically aligned, not just saying it. The universe reads your energy. So that's why releasing things and letting things go is so super important. All right, so that was that full moon in Scorpio card, and I'm going to use my Everyday Witch Tarot deck just to get sort of an overall energy. Just a card to just sort of hover above this reading. So let's get a shuffle going here, Cancer. Okay, all right, so what do we have as the overarching energy of this reading for Cancer, right? Spring love. Okay, something flipped over in here. Where are you? Little flippy card. Ooh, okay. Seven of Pentacles is your overarching energy, okay? And Seven of Pentacles is, sometimes this is sort of like a waiting card in a way of like, okay, so I have really worked hard on, this woman has grapes, right? And she has really taken good care of them, and she's tended to them, and she's checking on them and seeing that they are still, doing their thing, turning into the grapes that she wants and needs for whatever purpose it is, that she's working on. And she seems pretty pleased with what's going on. And so to me, this says that, in general, you diligently working towards goals right now and just sort of waiting to see what comes of whatever steps you have just taken, right? So the next step is in sight, but you've got to wait and see how it unfolds. All right, so now I'm going to use my Lover's Path Oracle, and I'll show you the cover of that. So this is the Lover's Path Oracle. Right. And we want to see here. Okay, so, I'm going to look at what your situation at hand is, kind of in general, what's the sitch? What's the sitch for Cancers? Okay, so we've got the Eight of Cups here. Okay, so the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups is an energy of sort of, which is what I was talking about with the Full Moon and Scorpio card. Actually, I don't want to do that. Sorry, don't mind me. So the Eight of Cups is usually like a walking away energy. It's sort of like, okay, these are the cups that I have been offered. And I'm just, I've chosen my cup, and this is what I'm going to work with, and then I'm leaving the rest. Okay, so possible that you have either made a final choice and now you've just sort of said, this is my choice, and now I am going to walk away from whatever else is there. So if you're, dating, if you're dating around and you had several choices, maybe you've made your choice. Because if you look at this, if you look at these cups here, these 8 cups, that one that's standing by itself, the heart is colored in, and the rest, it's like red, and the rest of the hearts on the other cups are pale. I think they're like almost like a tannish pink color, but this one's like a nice deep red. So this is like, okay, I've made my emotional choice and this is who I want. Or, if things aren't going, as planned, you've chosen to, walk away from something. All right, so let's see here. See what kind of influences or obstacles that could be involved in this situation here. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords, okay? So whenever I think of the Seven of Swords, sometimes I think that it's like someone who is like not being like sneaky, but possibly just kind of like going about the situation sort of in a different way, right? Like maybe there's a front door to the situation, but I need to take the back door, or the back door of the situation seems better to me. And this kind of makes me think of the Eight of Cups in a way, because, the Seven of Swords kind of like this person is like, okay, I'm gonna sort of, like tiptoeing, right? So in this card, it looks like this person is like, okay, I'm gonna just kind of walk away now and just kind of like tiptoeing away. Wow, this is so funny, this reading. Not funny, haha, but I'm just seeing like we've got the Seven of Pentacles there, then we went to the Eight of Cups, and now we're back at the Seven. So, when you're reading tarot, you're looking at a situation from where it is in progression. And so right now it seems like you're hovering in a state of like waiting and tiptoeing and sort of like, okay, now I've done this thing and now I need to do this thing, and I'm just going to make sure that every little step that I take is moving me in the direction that I want to go in. So whether you're entering into something or you're walking away from something, you are being very calculating about it. So it almost seems like to make sure that everything, not that it looks good on the outside, but that there's nothing no drama or any mess sort of for the world to see. All right, so the hopes and fears and the worries and desires concerning this situation. I'm going to pull 2 cards for that. All right. Hopes and fears, worries and desires. Okay, so this first card here, let's see. So this deck is like labeled a little bit differently, but this card here is the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man literally, this card says contemplation, right? Contemplation right down there. And the Hanged Man is literally suspended and just, kind of looking at things from a different point of view, or just hanging out and sort of, letting things be where they are. And this is card number 9, right? So we've got 2 7s, an 8, and a 9. Just to, so you guys can see, like, where are you? You're almost, towards the resolution of whatever this is, but not quite there yet. When we get to the 10s, that's when you're at finality. All right, so then we've got the 9 of Wands here. What is up with all these 9s? All right, so you got 2 7s, an 8, and 2 9s. Okay, and these 9s came here together, right? So we've got the 9 of Wands. Okay, so the 9 of Wands is an energy where, maybe you're like putting up that good fight and you're just like, okay, almost there, like, we got this, right? But this is, the more I look at this, the more this looks to me like getting into something new with someone, or a single person energy and not a relationship energy, just because, of these 9s here. The Hermit card is definitely a solo energy. And the 9 of Wands is an energy of like, sort of like defensive, but also tired. So it's like, oh, okay, I am making this happen. This is gonna work, and, I'm tired, but I've got this. It's like that kind of energy here. So whatever you're doing and dealing with, it seems like I said, it really does seem like you are handling it with as much grace as you possibly can, or with as much delicacy as you feel that you need to, So the next thing I'm going to talk about is any information, like suggestions and like options to consider within this situation. Okay, this one wants to go. All right, so we've got the 10 of Swords, So wow, we went from 7 to 8 to 9s to a 10, right? So it's like this progression. It's like this story almost. So the 10 of Swords is like a lower echo of the Death card, right? Which I was talking about with the Scorpio energy. So you could be dealing with this definitely looks like an ending, This looks like an ending of something, whether, it's the ending of, all right, so then we've got the Knight of Wands. Oh, I mean, is that the Knight or is that? I might have to consult the little booklet because this is it's a regular tarot deck, but it's labeled a little bit differently. So I just have to look and see. We've got princess and princes instead of pages and knights. All right, so this is the Knight of, wow. This is the Knight of Swords, okay? So this is, just really sort of like the Knight of Swords would not sugarcoat anything or make anything feel warm and fuzzy. So, and it's funny because the Knight of Swords is Cupid in this card. The Knight of Swords is Cupid. And whatever it is, Cupid, when he pulls back and he lets go, that arrow is like, it like strikes you. And it's funny because if you look at this 10, it's like this 10th arrow here is like, it's almost like it's in motion. So to me, Cancer, this situation here, it's I'm gonna pull like another card from my everyday witch deck just to clarify, to get a message from the universe about this. But this situation to me seems really final. Like whatever it is, whatever the choices. Do I have lipstick on my face or is that just a blemish? Sorry guys, that was definitely lipstick on my face. Anyways, so there's a lot of finality to this situation, and whether it's hard, because to me when I see Cupid with his arrow and striking with the arrow and the finality of it, it almost seems like I got my bae, like I got my bae and this is it, this is the one, but I can't ignore the fact that with the Eight of Cups here and the Seven of Swords, that there could be somebody that's trying to get out of a situation that's not, working out for them, and they're doing it very carefully, and maybe it's taking extra time, and maybe it's slightly frustrating, but that's what I have for you, and I'm gonna pull some cards to get like a message from the universe. Ooh, this one came flying out. So the Five of Cups popped up. Let me pull another card to go with that. Ooh, Five of Cups. So this is so funny, and I love numbers. Numbers mean a lot to me. And we've got the Six of Pentacles here. So we got 5, 6, and then from my other deck earlier, I pulled a 7. Right? So Spirit is sort of just like confirming things. All right. But when I look at the Five of Cups and the Six of Pentacles together, this is almost like somebody is helping you to see the good side of the situation, right? So it's possible that you or someone, this could be vice versa, right? If you're cross-watching for someone else, this person is really focused on these spilled cups here, but there's celebration back here that they're not focused on. And they're not focused on that celebration, but there's someone, in their world or in your world that, you either need to reach out to, or you can reach out to, or is going to reach out to you and be like, hey, you need to, stop worrying about those spilled cups and look at the cups that are, over there and ready for you to enjoy, right? And maybe that's why we have this Eight of Cups here. Like this Eight of Cups, it's almost like walking away, right? The Eight of Cups, walking away from that energy right there, that down energy. And so just to close off your reading, I'm just going to pull a card from my Crystal Grid Oracle deck. Ooh, what do we have? We have boundaries. Boundaries. Okay, so if I'm looking at this in the terms of you, sort of ending a situation, this card would be perfect for that, right? Asserting boundaries and sort of knowing when to walk away and, let a situation be done. So let's see here. It says, by drawing this card, which is about boundaries, it is asking you to look at the walls you have built up around yourself and now need to come down. Or it may be indicating you need to set some boundaries for yourself or others. A time of new beginnings awaits you, but you must be firm and respect yourself enough to make the changes, right? So putting up those boundaries or, making the necessary changes, whether it's putting up the walls or taking them down in order to move forward with your life, walking away from what no longer serves you, Eight of Cups, so that you can see the better cups in that Five of Cups card. So this is saying that the stones featured on this, which are calcite fairy stones, have a very strong connection to the earth and will act as an anchor when meditating or journeying. It is a perfect stone to journey within and take a good look at what no longer serves you, right? So the hanged man would do that. He would look within and say, okay, these are the things that I need to work on, and these are the actions that I need to take. It's just spending that time and to, work on those things and to compartmentalize those things and, take those little compartments and say, okay, I'm going to work on this. All right, so find your inner strength, set some boundaries, knock down a couple walls, and start afresh. Each calcite fairy stone has a unique shape, and many look like people, so each stone has a specific purpose of its own. You can see the concentric circles of this one, that it is about boundaries. Each one has its own story to tell, but all are earth anchors. The stunning green calcite is always a welcome addition to any grid. So I'll hold this up here again. It brings with it a sense of peace and love, reminding us that when we set our boundaries, they must come from a place of love for ourselves and others. Don't be unrealistic with your boundaries, or you might just be putting up a wall. Always be mindful of your actions or non-actions. All right, so that's what I have for you, Cancers, for your spring love oracle. I hope that this helped you, and please feel free to like, subscribe, share my videos. I'm gonna leave my Facebook page in the description box. It's called Mystical Vixens Sanctuary. I would love to have you part of the community. And I will see you next time. Bye.